When an 8-year-old girl vanishes on her short walk home from the school bus, her kidnappers believe they've grabbed an easy target. What they don't realize is that her father leads the most feared biker club in 3 states. And when the Steel Demons go hunting, justice doesn't come from a courtroom. It comes roaring on 2 wheels. The call came at 3:47 p.m., a time David Reaper Cole would never forget. He was in the middle of a meeting when his phone buzzed, and the moment he saw his ex-wife's name, he felt it. That cold, heavy drop in his chest. Rachel wasn't just crying. She was choking on her own panic. Lily, she didn't come home. The bus dropped her off, but she never walked inside. David didn't answer. He just ran. The Steel Demons ran with him. Within minutes, 40 engines split the quiet afternoon sky, thunder rolling over the small neighborhood as the bikers swarmed the street. David leaped off his bike, scanning the area like a man possessed. Then he saw it. Lily's backpack, stuffed deep in the bushes, like someone had thrown it there in a hurry. And in that moment, David knew this wasn't an accident. Someone had taken his daughter. David's hands trembled as he searched the discarded backpack, but the real fear punched through him when he realized what was missing. Her teddy bear, Mr. Buttons. He had given Lily that bear on her 7th birthday, acting like it was a cute gesture, but secretly, he'd sewn a tracker deep inside it. Not because he expected danger, but because the world wasn't kind to little girls. Snake, David barked. Ping the tracker. Snake tapped rapidly on his phone. The signal popped up, moving fast. Too fast. She's in a car, Snake muttered, voice hardening. Heading north toward Highway 9. David's blood went cold. That was cartel territory. Carlos El Lobo Mendez ran that region. A man David had publicly refused to do business with 2 weeks ago. This isn't random, David said, voice low and dangerous. Someone wanted to send me a message, and he had just received it. David's phone rang again. Unknown number. He already knew who it was. Missing something, Reaper? A mocking voice heard. Carlos Mendez. David's jaw clenched so tight he felt his teeth grind. Where is my daughter? Relax, Carlos chuckled. She's alive, for now. Every biker in the room froze. You made a mistake when you refused my offer, Carlos continued. So now, I'm making you an offer. Bring me $100,000 and sign your bike shop over to me, or your little girl disappears forever. David swallowed fire. If you touch her, Carlos, I will burn your entire world to ash. Oh, Reaper, Carlos laughed. Your threats mean nothing. Come alone to the warehouse on Miller Road. Try anything stupid, and she dies screaming. The call ended. Tank stepped forward. It's a trap. I know. David holstered his gun. But he took my daughter. His next words were ice. He dies tonight. Within 30 minutes, the Steel Demons headquarters looked like a war room. Maps spread across tables. Radios crackling. Men sharpening blades and loading magazines. David outlined the plan. I'm going to the warehouse alone. He expects that. He needs that. Tank nodded. And we'll be everywhere he doesn't expect. 3 squads formed instantly. Squad 1, Ghost Team. Shadow routes, silent approach, surveillance only. Squad 2, Thunder Team. 40 bikers ready to hit the real location, wherever Lily actually was. Squad 3, Reaper's backup. A hidden perimeter around the warehouse. Engines off, waiting for David's signal. Snake monitored the tracker. Reaper. Lily's signal stopped. Not at the warehouse. 2 blocks west. Abandoned building. David's eyes hardened. Carlos wants me at the warehouse so he can kill me. She's somewhere else. Classic double trap, Tank growled. And we'll spring both, David said. Clean and violent. The men nodded. No hesitation. When the Steel Demons rolled out, the ground shook. War was coming. Just as the bikers were about to depart, headlights appeared outside the clubhouse. A single car. No markings. Every biker drew their weapon instantly. A man stepped out slowly, hands raised. Detective Tom Miller. A face none of them trusted. Wait, Miller said softly. I'm not here as a cop. Then turn around, Tank snapped. Miller shook his head. Carlos killed my partner last year. Made it look like suicide. I've been trying to nail him ever since. And if he has the girl, he's not stopping at one. He pulled a folder from his coat and tossed it onto the table. Inside, photos. 14 missing children. All last seen near Carlos's territory. A silence fell so heavy it felt physical. He's building a trafficking ring, Miller said, voice breaking. I've followed every lead. Every trail ends at him. And every time, his lawyers bury me. David stared at the pictures, rage simmering into something darker. You're telling. Night settled over the industrial zone like a curtain of smoke. David rode alone toward the warehouse, his bike the only sound on the empty road. The neon glow from broken lamps flickered across the cracked pavement, giving everything a sickly, haunted look. Inside the warehouse, Carlos had at least 20 men waiting. Guns out, smiles cruel. But while they prepared their ambush, the Steel Demons were setting their own. Ghost Team crawled along rooftops, drones silent in the sky. Thunder Team moved on foot through alleys, approaching the abandoned building where the tracker signal pulsed steadily. Snake whispered through the radio. 15 heat signatures in the holding room. 1 matches Lily's size. David exhaled slowly. She was there. Tank's voice cut in. Bad news, cartel reinforcements. At least 30 soldiers coming from the south. David smiled grimly. Then tell them to hurry, he said. "I'm getting impatient." David stepped into the warehouse alone. Carlos grinned at him from a metal chair like a king surveying his pitiful enemy. "Where's my money?" Carlos asked. "Where's my daughter?" David countered. Carlos shrugged. "Safe for now. But you came alone like a fool." David smirked. "Did I?" A low rumble rolled across the concrete, growing louder, stronger. Carlos frowned. "What is?" The warehouse doors shook as 200 motorcycles surrounded the building. Every biker club from 3 states had shown up. Not for money, not for revenge, for the children. Carlos stepped back, face draining of color. "You brought an army for a business negotiation?" "This isn't business," David said. "You stole a child." David stepped into the warehouse alone. Carlos grinned at him from a metal chair like a king surveying his pitiful enemy. "Where's my money?" Carlos asked. "Where's my daughter?" David countered. Carlos shrugged. "Safe for now. But you came alone like a fool." David smirked. "Did I?" A low rumble rolled across the concrete, growing louder, stronger. Carlos frowned. "What is?" The warehouse doors shook as 200 motorcycles surrounded the building. Every biker club from 3 states had shown up. Not for money, not for revenge, for the children. Carlos stepped back, face draining of color. "You brought an army for a business negotiation?" "This isn't business," David said. "You stole a child." The two forces collided like thunder. 50 cartel fighters versus 200 furious bikers. The bikers fought like fathers, brothers, protectors. Every swing fueled by rage. Every hit powered by the thought of children in cages. The cartel had guns, but the bikers had something far stronger. Purpose. Within minutes, the cartel lines broke. Men dropped weapons, fled, screamed for mercy. Carlos tried to slip out the back, limping toward his SUV. But David was already there, blocking his path. Carlos fell backward. Please, I didn't hurt her." David grabbed him by the throat. "You were going to sell her." What happened inside that warehouse? No one knows except David. But they heard the screams. And when the police finally arrived, Carlos Mendez was still alive, but broken in ways that would never heal. His confession spilled out instantly. He admitted crimes he hadn't even been accused of yet. Drug routes, bribes, trafficking lists, names of every corrupt official he'd ever paid. The officers found 30 cartel members tied up, 14 rescued children, and enough evidence to erase an empire. Detective Miller shook David's hand quietly. "You saved them," he whispered. "All of them." David didn't answer. He was too busy holding Lily. The children were reunited with their families. Some ran into their parents' arms. Some stood frozen, unsure how to feel. One boy had no family left. The cartel had taken them. The steel demons adopted him without hesitation. Lily had nightmares for months, but the bikers rotated guard duty outside her home until she felt safe again. Every night, without fail, Carlos received life without parole. His cartel abandoned him. In prison, word spread of what he'd done to children. He survived, but just barely, and his life became a slow, agonizing punishment. As for the steel demons, they changed that night. They became guardians of their community. Any missing child, any whisper of danger, they responded. Not all stories ended happy, but every story ended with justice, and everyone learned the same truth. No one survives after taking a biker's daughter. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more stories like this, and we'll see you in a new story.